It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Tuesday, the 13th of August. I'm Michael Groff. Conditions drying out. Temperatures gradually creeping back up just a little bit above seasonal averages. Afternoon highs somewhere near 110 degrees by late this week and this weekend. Thunderstorm activity and the overall monsoon pattern looks like it's going on something of a hiatus. Now, we could see a return to storms by this weekend over parts of the state, but here in the south central deserts, including Phoenix, those chances look fairly slim. And then some forecast uncertainty as we go into next week. But it sure looks like we're not going to have any major push of monsoon moisture around here anytime soon. All right, let's get into it here. The almanac from yesterday, 108 degrees the afternoon high, 88 the morning low, 105 and 84 the averages for this time of year. As we take a look outside right now, here at 7:30 a.m., we've got partly cloudy sky. Even a few light showers have been around the central part of the Phoenix area and south of the valley. Sky Harbor reported a trace of rain in the last hour. We're at 91 degrees currently, dew point 63, humidity 39%, a light wind. The barometer is steady. The upper level weather pattern across the nation, a bit of a shift is ongoing here. We've got that ridge that's sliding off to the east now over the southern plain states, troughing over the Pacific Northwest. And so the flow aloft around here is switching to more southwesterly. And for us, that's a dry flow of air, and that's going to take the monsoon moisture and push it off to the east and northeast of us. And thunderstorm activity will be shunted away from the lower deserts over the next few days as that trough continues to sit to the north and west of us. Now, eventually, that will skirt east through the Intermountain West to the northern plains. The ridge will start to build back, but another trough will replace it by late this weekend and next week, as we'll talk about in a moment. The watch warning map, we've got heat advisories and excessive heat warnings. The Gulf Coast, the Arklatex region, basically the southern plains, same spots we've been seeing those. Some red flag warnings to the north of us, across parts of Oregon and Idaho, some of the adjacent states. Convective outlook for today, a risk of severe storms north of the state. That marginal risk for much of the Intermountain West, Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, Colorado, and out into the plains, as well as over portions of the Carolinas. Now, much of the state is in the green. Thunderstorms are possible. I would say that risk is really quite low for us in the south central deserts. It's not zero, though. But for the most part, storms today will be confined to the higher terrain, and even at that, they'll be just widely scattered in nature. The tropics and the Atlantic Basin, we've got Ernesto. That's our latest tropical storm, and of course, that's going to bring some gusty winds and some heavy rain to Puerto Rico. Where it goes from there, it sure looks like it will turn to a hurricane as it curves off to the north. The only other area that at least has some concern is Bermuda, where this, of course, could be a hurricane and impact the island there. Of course, Bermuda is a very small island, but right now, the official track sure takes it very close to, if not right over top of Bermuda. Of course, that could change. But at this point, it looks like it will avoid the east coast of the United States. Now, this system could potentially, I've seen on some model runs, this could impact maybe the Canadian Maritimes or eastern Maine. We'll have to watch to see where that goes from there. But at this point, it looks like it will avoid any serious impacts on the United States. Here's the precipitation outlook. This is valid through Tuesday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, not much. And statewide, generally at or under 1/2 inch, even over the favored upslope areas of northern eastern Arizona, the southeastern part of the state. And the reason for this, we're going to dry out quite a bit for at least the next several days. And then what happens this weekend and next week? Well, we'll see. We'll talk about it as we get to the models right now. See what the future may hold. Here we go. This is the GFS. It is the 06Z run, and it's valid at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Troughing to the north and west of us, ridging off to the east. And so down at the surface for the rest of the day today, partly cloudy this morning, mostly sunny for this afternoon. Yeah, there's an isolated shower or two around early this morning. That's going to be about it, though. Widely scattered showers and storms will develop this afternoon over the higher terrain of northern and eastern Arizona. Technically speaking, the chance of rain in Phoenix today is not zero, but it's just under the 10% threshold that we normally utilize to put any mention of rain in the forecast. So, yeah, could you see a storm here in south central Arizona today? Yes, but I would say that chance is relatively low. High temperatures today, 104 to 108. Tonight, an isolated storm someplace, otherwise mostly clear. Overnight lows generally in the 80s. And then tomorrow, it's sunny sky. High temperatures, 104 to 108. Just an isolated storm over the higher terrain of eastern Arizona. Thursday, generally the same thing. Highs, 106 to 110. Sunny sky, dry air. As we go to Friday, showers and thunderstorms possible along the southern border of our state, perhaps. That aforementioned trough begins to slide eastward through the Intermountain West and moving toward the northern plains, but at this point, it still looks like southwesterly flow will be in place for the most part, maybe turning more southerly with time. And there's even hints of maybe a disturbance or something to the south of us that could kick up those showers and storms. But it looks like we will stay relatively dry and high temperatures 106 to 110 going into the weekend. This is Saturday. The GFS kind of bullish on moisture and storm chances on Saturday. And I mean, if this is right, the ridge is building back and the flow aloft is more south, maybe subtly out of the south-southeast. And so showers and storms would increase, and we could even see a few storms here in the lower deserts. At this point, we have the forecast dry for this weekend. But we'll keep an eye on this and see if we need to re-add those rain chances back in, because if the GFS is right, yeah, we probably would need to do that. Shows a pretty decent active day here on Saturday. High temperatures should still be around 106 to 110, more or less the same story on Sunday. Widely scattered afternoon and evening showers and storms, but they would stay mostly away from us here in the lower deserts. Again, an isolated storm is not out of the question. We just don't have any mention of that in the forecast right now. We'll reevaluate as we get closer to the weekend, though. Monday, we got another trough beginning to set up shop just off the Pacific Northwest coast. The ridge is going to slide to the south and east. And what's going to start to happen as we go into next week is the pattern's going to begin to amplify a bit. Stronger southwesterly flow will be in place just to the west of us. The ridge will strengthen just to the east of us. Arizona kind of in the middle. Widely scattered afternoon and evening showers and storms would be in place on Monday if this is right. High temperatures probably back off a degree or two, back to around 104 to 108. Here's a week from today. This is Tuesday, the 20th. And again, stronger ridging now off to the east. In fact, look at that. That's a 600 decameter ridge that's sitting right over the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles. We're on the western flank of that, and that's a trough that's off the Pacific Northwest coast. If that's right, kind of a deep southerly flow is in place. Now, that's not the worst for us, but that's not all that favorable for bringing storms into the lower deserts either. So the humidity levels might be up. Heat levels would be a little bit above seasonal averages, but by and large, storm chances would still be confined to the north and east of us in that setup. There could be an isolated storm in here, though. Then as we go out 10 days, this is Thursday, the 22nd. And again, we're looking pretty quiet here if this is right. The 597 ridge is sitting to the east. Got this trough that's along the west coast. Now, the one wild card that the GFS, of course, loves to do, and that's it introduces a tropical cyclone to the south and southwest of us. If that scenario comes to fruition, and given the setup that we have with strong ridging in the southern plains and troughing along the west coast, and some models indicate a fairly deep trough for this time of year, that could pick up some of that tropical moisture and start to bring it into the southwest. Ordinarily, a southwesterly flow is dry, but if there's a tropical cyclone down there, then yes, we would see some moisture imported in here. Who knows? Could even turn the entire system off to the north and northeast and bring it up this way. However, that is a pretty far-fetched solution given that we don't have any tropical storms on the board right now, and the GFS is very famous for developing these rogue tropical cyclones. Sometimes they happen. But, at this point, the overall synoptic pattern would just favor a dry setup for the most part, with temperatures fairly close to seasonal averages. Arizona kind of between the really intense heat from that ridge and the somewhat cooler air with the trough. Now, the other scenario that could also happen is if there's even a bit of tropical moisture in here, if there's a disturbance or a ripple in the flow out of the southwest, that could trigger additional showers and storms, especially with the dynamics of this trough not far away from us. that could set up some diffluence. Ordinarily, because it's so dry with a southwesterly flow, that would keep us, generally in the clear. But if there is an introduction of moisture and with kind of a trough and some instability sitting to the north and west of us, that could help to trigger some showers and storms. But again, at this point, for the most part, next week still looks to be fairly quiet. We'll keep an eye on it, though. All right, looking at precipitation here, rainfall for Phoenix. This is off of the GFS ensemble. This goes out through the 27th of August. The mean is over a half an inch. And again, you got a few members that are pretty bullish on rain, but I'm not really buying into much precipitation the next 10 days or 14 days. European ensemble may have the better idea. I mean, it's been dry, or the drier solution this summer, and frankly, it has been the more accurate solution so far this summer. It's got the ensemble mean at just over a tenth of an inch, and many members that show nothing at all. And given the pattern that looks to be setting up with troughing along the Pacific Northwest coast, ridging to the east, it's something of an early autumn pattern. And normally, that's pretty dry for us. We'll see. All right, temperatures off the national blend of models. A gradual trend up, at least as we head into the weekend and next week, with highs once again returning to around 110 degrees, overnight lows in the 80s to near 90. Although if air does turn out to be a bit drier, those overnight lows, even in the mid-city, could come down just a bit. And in the outlying valley areas, we could even dip into the upper 70s. That would be decent. But right now, there doesn't appear to be any real relief from any significant heat. We're not going to see high temperatures dip below 100 degrees anytime soon, unless some unforeseen circumstance were to occur. And that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, then be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. And if you really like what we do here, then click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube. Make those monetary contributions to us, or you can donate via PayPal. groffshow@gmail.com is the address via PayPal, groffshow@gmail.com for PayPal. A reminder that the executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my one and only, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Check her out, and everything else Michelle related, all of that stuff linked up down in the description. Give it a look, give it a listen, give it a peek, please. Also, what you should check out is our streaming station. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music. We have a lot of fun with that. Thousands of songs. They're all in one place. You will never find a variety more eclectic, more substantial than that anywhere. I assure you of that. That's something I want you guys to check out as well. So, again, linked up in the description. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. All of your continued support, so greatly appreciated. Please be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there. Have yourselves a terrific rest of your Tuesday.